So the last topic we're doing for the term is data. It's a very small little topic. The main things that we're doing in this topic is learning how to calculate mean, median, mode, and range. And there's a few other little graphing. We're doing stem and leaves at the end as well. Okay, but they're the main things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through one at a time. We're going to do mean, then median, do it one thing at a time. And then by the end of the topic, you should be able to do all of them and not mix them up, hopefully. Okay, so the word mean is referring to finding the average of your data. The mean is found by first adding up all of the scores and dividing by the number of scores, which is why you have this formula here. Mean equals sum of all scores over the number of scores. Sometimes you will see a symbol for mean, which is an X with a little line above it. So instead of writing the word, you can use that if you prefer. Okay, so questions. Question number 1, calculate the mean of the data set. And you've got a whole bunch of numbers there. So we need calculators because the first thing you need to do is add all of those numbers up. So you type in 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Oh, you're too fast for me. Oh, I got 26 as well. Okay, so summing up all the scores, the top number is going to be a 26. And on the bottom, we need the number of scores, which means you count up how many numbers are there. How many are there? 10. So on the calculator now, you want to type in 26 over 10, and we want to do this as a decimal. So press the SD button if it gives you a fraction. Yeah, so the mean is 2.6, the average. That's it, done. Let's do it again. Find the mean of this new set of scores. So let's use the symbol this time, X with a bar above it. That means mean. So in your calculator, add up all those numbers. $707? You all get that? Good. So 707 is the sum, and then that's over. How many scores are there? 10 again. So what is 707 divided by 10? 70.7 is the average. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Add them all up, divide by how many there are. Now, sometimes you might have a lot of scores. And if you wrote them out as a big long list like we're doing question 1 and question 2, it can be really confusing because it's go this plus this plus this plus this. And you might miss one and mess the whole thing up. So when there is a lot of scores, we often put the data into a table. And that's what these next few are. To read the information in this table, the scores that we have for A here are the scores 3, 4, 5, 6, that first column. They're the scores. The next column, this F, stands for frequency. That's how many times each number happens. So the 3 happens 4 times. It'd be the same as going 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And then you've got 6, 4. So you go 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. That would be a pain in the butt if you had to type in your calculator, wouldn't it? So to do the mean from a table, we introduce a third column, which we call the FX column. F is for frequency, X is the score. Okay, so instead of going 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 4 times, it just means 3 times 4 is 12. And you put the 12 in there. Then you do 4 times 6, which is 24. Then you do 5 times 7, which is 35, and 6 times 2, which is 12. Okay, so it's a faster way of adding them up. What you now want to do is you want to add up all of those green numbers that I've done there, and that will sum up all of your scores for you. So what is 12 plus 24 plus 35 plus 12? Correct. So when we work out the mean, it will be 83 divided by, but the thing that I'm missing is the number that goes on the bottom. The total number of scores is the total number of your frequency. It's the number that needs to go here. One box that I've missed, yes. So what you do is you add down that frequency column and you get 19. So it's 83 divided by 19, which equals what to one decimal place? Correct. To find the fx column, you're timesing the score times the frequency to get the number on the end. And then you add the frequency column, you add the fx column, and then it's these two boxes down the bottom. You do that divided by that one to get the mean. All right, so let's do it again. So the first thing we do, the fx column, we're going to times 8 times 1 is 8. 9 times 0 is 0. 10 times 3 is 30. 5 times 11 is 55. 12 times 4 is 48. And 13 times 2 is 26. Okay, we need to do both of them. So let's start with the frequency this time. Add up your frequency column. 15, good. Now add up your fx column. Very good, 167. So to find the mean, you are going to take those two numbers down the bottom. It's the 167 divided by the 15. And we always want these as a decimal. So what is that to one decimal place? I think. What's after the, 11.1? Good. Okay. Couple more questions on the next page. Question 4. Find the mean of the data displayed in the stem and leaf plot. You've seen stem and leaf plots before? Yeah. So to read the numbers out of the stem and leaf, there's a key at the top. There should always be a key that tells you how to read it. So a 2 line 3 means the number 23. So down the bottom, this number here would be the number 30, because it'd be 3 line 0, 30. Then you'd have 21 and 23 and another 23 and 25. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, I do actually have to add all of those scores together on my calculator to find the total. So be very careful. Let's do it together. I'm going to start up the top. The first score is a 0, then a 2, which is just 2. The second score is 4, and then I have 7 and another 7. So that's the first row. Okay. Then plus, moving on to the second row, my first one would be 10 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 14 plus 16 plus 16 plus 18. And then onto the 20s, onto the third row. So plus 21 plus 23 plus 23 plus 25 plus 26 plus 27 plus 29. And then the last row is the plus 30. Did you guys type this in with me? You didn't. You're just letting me do it. Okay. So it equals 334. If you miss a number, if you forget a stem, it's going to mess the whole thing up. So this can be a bit of number crunching. You can think of what a statistician must do doing all these calculations. It's very important that you're accurate when you're typing things in. So the mean is going to be equal to 334 over, the number on the bottom is the total number of scores. How am I going to find that? How many scores are in this stem and leaf? What do you think, Ashley? There are 24 numbers there, but you don't count the stems and the leaf, okay? So it should only be 20. So when you're counting them up, just count the leaf numbers, because remember this is not a number on its own. 21, 23, 23. It's telling you the tens digit, right? So you don't count those, you just count those. So there should only be 20. So 20 on the bottom. What is 334 divided by 20? To one decimal place. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to do it from a dot plot. So there's a dot for each score. So again, we get our calculators out and we're going to start adding things up. So we're going to start with 0. We have 0 plus 0, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 plus 3, plus 4 plus 5 equals 20. So you've got 20 over, how many scores are there? Count up the number of dots. 10. What is 20 divided by 10? 2. Nice whole number 2. Now you could, when I typed that in, there is a shorter way you could have typed that in. You could have said there is 0 happens twice, so you go 0 times 2, plus 1 happens 3 times, so 1 times 3, plus there's 1, 2, plus 3 lots of 2, plus a 4, plus a 5, and you get the same thing. But when there's a lot of repetition, you can use multiplication instead of adding. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so that's the end of the theory section. Your turn to practice finding the mean.